What's up? This is Nick, coach of the Ecruteak City Pikipeks, back again, this time sober, for a commentary for one of the most anticipated matches of the week between the Stantlers and the Pikipeks. So, this battle was, it was a good one. It was an interesting one. So, Jacob leads off with his Pumpkin, the Super Gorgeist, or Gourgeist, or whatever you call it. And then Nas comes out from Jake, the Necrozma, which great utility on that Pokemon. It's something that seems like it would just kind of be, when you get into its Mega Evolution, it's kind of just an attacker, but not the base form. It is very much a kind of support type. And he gets that burn right away, which is pretty good for him. Excuse me, I'm eating my breakfast right now. So yeah, cinnamon bagel and smoothie. So very healthy. So, yeah, that burn on Pumpkin wasn't entirely important, but it definitely kind of sets you up for the way this match plays out. So that's a 10% chance burn off the Heat Wave. Yeah, big old knockoff coming out on a Pumpkin, which no more leftovers, which he had stolen from Necrozma. So pretty clever. I gave him an Iron Ball, which slowed him down, and then I missed on that 85% accurate Will-O-Wisp. And then bam, Pumpkin is down. So already the fight is not looking great for Jacob, because that first turn did nothing. Sure, Nas has an Iron Ball, but now he doesn't. So I mean, really not much happened with Gourgeist. And then we get a Heat Wave out, which almost OKO's Mega Man. Not quite, but very close to it. And then the Sucker Punch will be enough to take out Nas. So, seems like Jacob may have kind of reined it in right here. It wasn't looking too great right off the number. But yeah, Breloom comes out, and yeah, Mega Man does not want to stay in because there's no way he survives anymore. Now, Grand Bull comes in for the Intimidate drop and to take the predicted fighting move, just because. Why wouldn't he use Mach Punch? Boom. Not very effective, but a critical hit, which, according to Jacob, did matter that it critted. So I'm assuming that, that means it does like 50% more damage than normal. And then a Spore goes out. So, Harry Potter is asleep. He still has Intimidate, so it can still kind of be used for his utility, because you can just come out and somebody lower their attack and kind of take a hit. So Breloom switches out, and then he brings in Celesteela, who is now coming into a sleeping Granbull, which is definitely a place it wants to be. But Granbull leaves and Mega Man comes back, so not exactly the best setup for Jake anymore. And Jacob knows that they can set up a Stealth Rocks, because Celesteela really can't do anything to kill the Bisharp before he can set up a Stealth Rock. And his last little bit of health gets sapped out, and he's dead. So Bisharp is down. So it is currently Jake leading 2-1. And then the Waifu comes out. Now, Tapu Waifu is known for just killing things, just setting up that Psychic Terrain, busting out his E. Oh no, this one's just busting his E, but usually it doesn't even need to do all that. And a Twinkle Tackle. Twinkle Tackle? Yeah. Oh no, Guardian of Alola, right. With a big ol', I don't even know what to call that thing. He gets a little Lele head. And this move is the Z variant of Nature's Madness, so that usually does 50% HP, but Guardian of Alola does 75%. And then straight up OKO onto Tapu Waifu. So I'm assuming the Guardian of Alola was because Jacob knew that Celesteela really was going to be hard to chip down with his team. So he just wanted to get the largest amount of damage out as he could. So Lajin comes in, the newly acquired Tornadus, and uses that Heat Wave, which should be more than enough to pick up that KO. So I'm guessing that means that Jacob knew that 1 wouldn't be enough to get the KO and still live, So he needed to get enough damage out on that Celesteela to make it basically just dead. And now Tyrannosaurus comes out, so this is a very bad matchup for Lajin. And Harry Potter comes back out, still asleep, but that attack drop, and should be able to take everything from this Tyranitar for neutral damage. Which, there we go. Reduced damage, and then Sandstorm, so Sandstorm's pretty much canceling out those leftovers, but at least it's neutral damage. And he goes for another Stone Edge. And Harry Potter's still asleep. I think this was pretty much max amount of turns asleep. Well, not max, but usually you'll get, on average, it's about 2, I think, but he got a 3-turn sleep. And this final Stone Edge is enough to take out the Intimidator, which means he no longer has that support form in the backfield. And he can no longer set up terrain. So priority moves can be used freely now. Now Tyrannosaurus leaves because he doesn't want to take an Earthquake to the face. Now comes Reaper, the shiny Alola Marowak. Big Stealth Rock damage. And big Dragon Claw, which doesn't quite do enough. But one more Dragon Claw is more than enough to take him out. So it's still not looking great for Jacob. He's still outnumbered, but I mean, he really can't do too much. With 2 Pokemon left. And an Intimidate drop on his Garchomp. And no more Fairy types. And no more... Yeah. And that was 2 HP. What that is, that he held on with 2 HP right there. And use that Outrage is more than enough to kill. And down goes the Garchomp. So now all that's left is Lajin, who is now coming into an Outrage. But he can get the Icy Wind off because he is quite quick, I think 115 speed or so. And obviously an Icy Wind doing 4 times damage is going to pick up those 2 HP and kill him. And now Tyrannosaurus comes out and sets up his Sandstream again, so even if he had horrible accuracy, it'd still chip down Lajin. And here comes an Ice Punch, so this must be a Scarf Tyranitar. Super effective, and it freezes! So this was kind of really important, because if you think about it, even if it had hit and not frozen, Tyranitar would have lost some speed, probably would have been slower, and could have been KO'd. Not saying that Jacob definitely would have won, but that freeze absolutely sealed his fate right there. So, in the surprise upset, good job, Jake. You played well and had a bit of luck on your side. So, one of the undefeated Titans now falls to 5-1, while Jake goes up to 3-3. So, pulling himself up towards the middle of the pack. But we will see what happens in the following weeks, because Jacob faces off against Mike of the Machamps next week, and Jake faces off against Greg of the Volcaronas. So, see how those matches go down, see if Jake can keep his steam going, and if Jacob can kind of reclaim his superiority over most of the league. Alright, see you next week.